fam? Welcome to Skill Tree, where we learn how to do just about everything. Alright y'all, I am a sucker for Halloween. And since the season is upon us, I decided that this would be a good opportunity to do kind of a costume episode. So, throughout human history, human beings have had a lot to be afraid of. Few of these things, though, are as terrifying as a plague. An indiscriminate, unseen killer that rampages through a community, mowing down the people like wheat. From such terrifying events, a visage arose. One that came to personify this devastating force of nature. I am, of course, talking about the Plague Doctor. That's right, yo! Today we're making a leather Plague Doctor mask. Look at this thing. It's awesome. Funny story, while making this Plague Doctor mask, I came down with the plague. So if I sound funny, that's why. One day late, you could have saved me. I'm so jazzed with how this thing came out, and I cannot wait to share it with you. If you want to follow along, there's a link in the description to Dieselpunk where I got the template for this bad boy. Tony, the owner, does amazing work and was nice enough to give us permission to show it here. Also, I'm going to put a link to some of the tools and materials I use down in the description, so maybe that'll help you if you want to try this out. One last thing, if you're new to leatherworking, check out all the other videos in this playlist. A lot of the skills I skim over here were learned during those videos, and they're covered in more detail. Alright, with all those pleasantries out of the way, let's level up this skill. Getting started. For this project, I'm using 6-ounce vegetable tanned leather. I laid out my Dieselpunk templates to ensure I had enough leather, then taped them in place with some regular masking tape. The tape is a little bit transparent so you can still see the pattern underneath. From here, I roughly cut the shapes out so I could begin to punch the holes shown on the patterns. Then, using a sharp knife, I trimmed off the excess leather, leaving a super clean looking piece. Once you've cut it out, don't throw away that pattern. We're going to use it to design all this tooling. Also, don't cut out the center part of the eye yet. You'll see why in just a little bit. Repeat this process for all the pieces shown in the template. I also used this time to set all these vent holes into place. For this purpose, I got some of these 1/4-inch eyelets from Tandy's. Using a punch, I made the holes in the designated areas. Then I set the eyelets in place using the recommended setter and anvil. The resulting rows are uniform and damn pretty, if I do say so myself, and I do. Now I decided to make my own, but Dieselpunk does sell the little clear rounds for the eyes here. They're not too hard to make, but it's nice to know that if you lack the tools or the materials, you can just buy them and they're going to be perfect. This is why I said to leave these centers of the eyes in for now. With the centers in place, it's easy to figure out the circumference the glass needs to be. The radius is 1 inch, FYI. With that measurement, I cut out this round from cardboard. Then I got a small sheet of acrylic and traced the circles on. Oh, you're going to want to leave the protective film on for this whole bit too, just to keep the saw from scratching the plastic. Using a jigsaw with a metal bit, I carefully cut the circles out. Then I cleaned up the shape with a belt sander. Lastly, I marked out the location of the holes and drilled them out with a 2mm drill bit. And voila, our peepers are ready to go. Alright, perfect. With all the individual pieces ready, it's time for tooling the leather. Okay, so with everything prepped, I decided that I wanted to add a little bit of design here. You don't have to. If you just want to go with the classic Plague Doctor look, you can go ahead and skip this step. All of the steps are time-stamped in the description, so if you want to skip around, feel free to. So for this design, I was kind of inspired by the Venetian masquerade masks. They always have kind of a classy and posh scrollwork design kind of going down them. That, and there were some really nice ones featured on the front cover of a book that I just finished reading, Republic of Thieves, if you're interested. Anyways, I bought this fleur-de-lis stamp, as well as these 2 complementary scrollwork stamps. Using the template, I measured out the stamp spacing, and laid out how the whole thing was going to look. Then I moistened the leather to soften it for tooling. Using the wing divider, I began to lay out my border. I also used a couple of round objects I found just kind of laying around to get the look that I wanted. Then I busted out my trusty swivel knife and cut the border in, making sure not to cut too deeply. Now, using the bevel stamp, I went around the border to separate it from the rest of the piece and give it some depth. With that looking good, it was time to start adding my border. From the first stamp, I fell in love with this scrollwork. And all the measuring I did ahead of time made sure everything went together perfectly. With the addition of the little fleur-de-lis at the jaw, I was already deeply satisfied with how this was coming out. I did feel like there was a lot of empty space here in the middle though. To remedy that, I went back to the template and drew in another design. Then I trace it onto the moist leather with a stylus, leaving an exact outline of my design. Just as with the border, I cut in my design with a swivel knife and made it pop using the bevel tool. I also used my stylus to add a little character to this scroll work. To finish it off, I used the backgrounder stamp and made a stipple pattern over the remainder of the space. As you can see here, I did that to both sides, and I also added a little design to the forehead area, just to kind of pull everything together. With everything looking good, I decided to dye everything with a saddle tan, making sure to get the stain deep in all the little nooks and crannies. Don't forget to hit all your straps as well. When you wipe the dye away, a lot of it stays inside of those little nooks and crannies and makes it darker than the whole rest of the piece. That's what makes your whole design stand out. Now that everything is tooled and dyed, it's time for putting it all together. Alright, this is the part where we take all of those pieces and combine them together to make our monster. This is also the bit with the most new skills for me. I'd never really stitched leather before, and we're going to be learning 2 stitches to put this thing together. A cross stitch for the top and bottom of the beak, as well as this forehead area here, and a saddle stitch for the sides of the beak and the temples into the eyes. We're also going to go over a little stitching pattern that's going to connect the plastic of the eye to its little leather surrounding. I'll be using this brown wax thread to connect everything together. Always make sure you have enough thread. Better to unspool too much than not enough. You'll also need 2 needles for each stitch. To lock the needles in, start by threading it through the eye. Loop the tail back and stab the needle through, like so. Then repeat that again, forming a little S pattern. Now take up the slack and slide your S down off the back of the needle to lock it in place. Now just repeat that on the other end of the thread so that you have 2 working needles. We are going to be starting with this seam here underneath the jaw. Start by threading your needles through the first holes on either side and pulling them so that they're even. Next, I pass the right hand needle back through the hole the left hand needle came through, then loop it back around and through the first hole, finally pulling the thread to snug it up. What we're looking for are these straight bars on one side and these crisscrosses on the other. To do this, send the needle through the hole diagonally across from it. On the other side, thread that same needle through the hole directly across from it to form a horizontal bar. Now repeat the process with the other needle, going through the hole that the first one just came out from, then threading it through the hole directly across from it. Tug on both threads to tighten your stitch and bring both sides together. Continue this pattern all the way to the end. Then use the same pattern to go backwards a few stitches and lock the whole thing into place. Finally, cut your threads to finish the seam. I love how closing up this seam starts to give this kind of beak shape to it already. That must have taken a lot of forethought to figure out how that slice needs to be in order to make that kind of arc. I don't know, I think it's cool. Anyway, use the same cross stitch pattern to sew up the forehead seam, keeping everything tight and even. Before closing up the top 3 holes, we're going to add this bit of leather so that we can connect the strap later. Just line up the holes and continue with the stitch as usual. Again, backstitch a few holes to lock it in place, then cut the tails, leaving a clean, strong seam. Okay, so now that we have the forehead and the lower beak all assembled, let's get the plastic of the eye attached to this little leather ring before we move on to the next step. Start by lining up your holes and sending your thread through one of them. Make sure you have an even amount of thread on both sides. Okay, now I want to show you this. See how I'm zigzagging that first needle through a few holes? Doing that leaves you with this empty space in the front. We want to fill that up so it looks more like this though. To do this, we use the other needle to chase the first one and fill up the empty spaces. By using this pattern all the way around, you'll be left with an unbroken row of stitches and a strong seam. Once you reach the end, simply snip the excess thread off and use a lighter to melt them into place. Once both them peepers are done, it's time to connect the upper beak to the lower. To do that, we're going to move away from this cross stitch and start moving over to the saddle stitch. Start by passing your thread through the first hole on both pieces. And as always, just make sure there's an even amount of thread on either side. So here's how this stitch works. I start by passing my right hand needle through the next hole in my line. I then take my left hand needle and make a little cross with the right hand needle. Pull the right hand needle out and turn the cross a quarter turn, positioning the left hand needle towards the same hole. Then send it through. Now take the thread on the opposite side and loop it around the exposed needle once. Then pull the needle through. By twisting the thread, you make this little loop that locks the stitch into place once it's tightened. This stitch is super strong and really clean looking. Alright, I know that sounded a little complicated. It really isn't. By the third stitch, you'll have it down. And by the end of it, it'll be muscle memory. You won't even be paying attention anymore. Honestly, through most of it, I was watching YouTube videos. Continue this stitch all the way to the end, and then backstitch a few holes to lock it into place, just like before. Repeat that process on the other side, and then shake out your hands, because now comes the tricky part. We need to sew this top seam together to make the beak round. This is only tricky because as you go, you really kind of need to hold that seam together or else it's going to twist and start to come apart. You don't want your beak to be all crooked and twisted like the thing flew into a window or something. It's tragic when that happens. To sew this seam up, we'll make use of the same cross stitch we used at the bottom here. Start with the first 2 holes at the tip of the beak. Really quickly, because I'm not sure this came across very well in the filming, the first 2 stitches are actually on the bottom of the front of this beak here. Then by the third one, you just send your needle out through the top here and all the rest of it come up the top of the nose. Try your best to keep the seam straight as you go and pull the thread nice and tight so there are no openings. At the end, keep the threads hanging out of the top holes like so. Use them to attach the forehead bit by passing them through the corresponding holes. Once that's in place, send the needles through the holes directly next to them. Then send them back out through their original center holes. Finally, cross both threads over the center to the holes opposite them. This completes this short row of thread. Backstitch down the beak a few holes and nip off the extra thread. By this point, this bad boy's starting to look like something. For this temple area here, we're just using the same saddle stitch we used for the side, starting over here at the end. Then work your way towards the eye hole. Once there, we're going to use this thread to attach the eyeglass. Just pass your needle through one of the holes in the eye leather. Then pass the other needle through an adjacent hole. Finally, send the first needle through the hole the second one just came through and pull the ends tight. Continue to do this pattern all the way around the circle of the eye, making sure it's good and tight as you go. Backstitch at the end and nip off the extra, completing the first eye. Then just repeat on the other side. Look at that! That's so dope! So the addition of the eyes adds this extra rigidity to the face and gives this really nice transition from the beak to the face area. I think it looks really cool. It kind of brings it to life. Once those eyes came in there, it's like, oh, that's a plague doctor mask. That's so cool. I really find this a cool project. Okay, it's time to put a bow on this thing by adding the straps. All the dimensions for these pieces were included in the template. Only thing extra you had to decide on was the hardware. I decided to use these rapid rivets, just like I did in my Spalder video. Link in the corner there. We'll start with this buckle strap here. Simply pass the tong through the long opening and fold the leather over. Then lock it in place with a rivet. Now we'll attach it to the mask interface here and add in this keeper to hold the strap in place. Again, just line up the holes and then rivet it into place. Double check and make sure everything has free movement. Also, go ahead and rivet that belt strap onto the other interface piece. Use the designated holes to attach the interface pieces right onto the mask. Simply line up the holes and rivet them into place. You should have just one strap of leather left over, and that forms this piece that goes over your dome piece and forms this little keeper loop. Just rivet that strap to the piece we stitched onto the forehead. Then fold the end over into a loop and rivet that as well. Now pass the strap through your loop and buckle it in place. And bam! Finished Plague Doctor mask. Come on, you can't tell me this thing doesn't look amazing. If I were to see this in like a Renaissance fair or something, I'd have to buy it. I'd have to. I know it felt like a lot of steps, but you can get this project done in a day, even if you decide to tool the leather. Seriously, I really like this project. And if you liked what you saw, why don't you give me that thumbs up love, and don't forget to subscribe so you know when I release new content. Also, ring the notification bell. I always forget about the notification bell. Finally, if there's any skills you want to see covered, leave it in the comments section and I will add it to the list. Alright, well I should be going. I need some bed rest and some leeches to get my humors in balance. In the meantime, keep leveling up, you.